You probably think the burger, fries, nuggets, or fried chicken are the real reason fast food tastes so good. And obviously, they matter. But take the sauce away for a second, and a lot of those foods suddenly feel a little less exciting. Fries become salty potatoes. Nuggets can feel like dry little pieces of fried chicken. A burger can lose that rich, tangy, messy layer that makes the whole bite feel complete. That is the sauce illusion. We treat sauce like a small extra, something on the side, something you add at the end. But in fast food, sauce can be the final layer that controls the entire experience. It adds moisture, flavor, smell, shine, and that little hit that makes you reach back into the box for one more bite. So, what actually makes a fast food sauce work? Most of the time, it is not just one strong flavor. It is a balance of fat, acid, sugar, salt, aroma, and thickness. The fat gives it richness and that smooth mouthfeel. The acid, often from vinegar, lemon, mustard, or pickles, cuts through grease so fried food does not feel too heavy. Sugar rounds out sharp, salty, or spicy flavors and makes the sauce feel softer. Salt makes everything taste louder. Aromas give it that smell you recognize before you even think about it. And thickness is what helps it cling to fries, nuggets, buns, and fried chicken instead of sliding off. That is the real rule. A great fast food sauce does not just taste good for 1 second, it stays with the bite. Once you understand that, the different styles of sauce start making a lot more sense. A creamy sauce is not only there to taste rich, it coats your mouth, softens crunchy food, and makes a dry bite feel smoother and easier to eat. A tangy sauce does almost the opposite. It wakes up fried food with vinegar, mustard, citrus, or pickle flavor, cutting through oil before the bite starts to feel greasy. Spicy sauces bring heat and excitement, but they usually need sweetness or fat behind them. Otherwise, the burn can feel harsh instead of fun. Sweet sauces help round everything out, especially when the food is salty, smoky, or heavily seasoned. That is why fast food sauces are rarely just one note. The best ones work like tiny flavor machines, each one solving a different problem inside the bite. And this is where sauce turns into food science. A lot of fast food sauces are emulsions, which basically means ingredients that normally do not want to mix, like oil and water, are held together in one smooth, stable sauce. That is why a creamy sauce can feel rich without turning into a greasy puddle. Then there is thickness, which matters more than most people think. If a sauce is too thin, it runs off the fry, slips out of the burger, or disappears into the bread. If it is too thick, it can feel heavy, pasty, and almost sticky in the wrong way. The sweet spot is a sauce that clings just long enough to stay with the bite. That cling is what makes the flavor last. It coats crispy edges, fills dry spots, adds shine, and keeps your mouth interested after the first crunch. Fried food is where sauce becomes almost unfairly effective. A nugget, a fry, or a piece of fried chicken already gives you crunch, salt, heat, and fat. But after a few bites, that same combination can start to feel dry, salty, or heavy. Sauce fixes the problem fast. A tangy sauce cuts through the oil, so the fried coating feels brighter instead of greasy. A sweet sauce softens the salt and makes spicy flavors feel smoother. A creamy sauce fills in the dry spaces and makes every bite feel richer. And when the sauce has the right thickness, it grabs onto the crispy surface instead of falling away. That is why dipping feels so satisfying. You are not just adding flavor. You are balancing the whole bite, turning something salty and fried into something rounder, wetter, sharper, and much harder to stop eating. That is also why sauces can become such powerful brand signatures. A fast food chain can sell burgers, fries, nuggets, or fried chicken just like everyone else. But if it owns a sauce, people remember the whole meal suddenly feels more specific. The color, the smell, the thickness, the first tangy hit, the sweet finish, the little spicy kick, all of those details become part of the brand in your head. Sometimes the base food is almost just a delivery system for that signature flavor. A nugget feels more exciting because of what you dip it into. Fries feel more personal because of the sauce you choose. A burger becomes easier to recognize because one spread ties all the flavors together. That is why fast food brands treat sauces like something valuable. A memorable sauce can make ordinary fast food feel like something only that brand can make. And here's the slightly shocking part. Sometimes the sauce stops being a side item and quietly becomes the real reason people order the food. Think about it. A plain nugget, a fry, or a simple burger can be good, but the sauce gives it personality. It adds the creamy, tangy, sweet, spicy, smoky hit that your brain remembers later. So the food underneath can start to feel almost like a vehicle for the sauce. You are not just eating chicken, you are chasing the dip. You are not just eating fries, you are looking for the flavor that coats them. And once a sauce becomes memorable enough, a brand can build an entire craving around it. That is the hidden truth. In fast food, sauce can move from supporting role to star of the meal without most people even noticing. That is why limited sauces, sauce packets, and dipping culture have become such a big part of modern fast food. A brand does not always need to reinvent the burger, the fries, or the chicken. Sometimes it only needs a new sauce. Make it spicier, sweeter, smokier, extra tangy, or available for a short time. And suddenly, the same familiar meal feels new again. Sauce also works perfectly online because people can rank it, mix it, dip everything into it, argue about it, or rush to try it before it disappears. A limited sauce can turn a normal order into something that feels collectible. A dipping flight makes fast food feel more interactive. And a viral sauce hack can make people return to a menu they already know, just to taste it in a different way. So the smarter choice is not to treat sauce like a harmless little extra that does not count. In fast food, sauce is often part of the main design. It can add moisture, sweetness, salt, fat, heat, aroma, and that clingy texture that keeps the bite going longer than it probably should. That does not mean you have to avoid it. It just means you should know what it is doing. If you want the full experience, try the signature sauce and enjoy it for what it is. But if you want more control, dip instead of pouring, go easier on the creamy or extra sweet sauces, and notice when the sauce is making you eat past the point where the food itself still feels satisfying. Once you understand sauce, you stop seeing it as a side. You see it as one of the biggest reasons fast food works.